Hello to all my friends out there. So I'm starting some new videos, and these videos are survival. I think this is very important. Just like, why do you think about a disguise? Well, you might have to exit somewhere. You might have to find something out. And so why worry about survival? Well, we could be attacked by our enemies and we could have a war, and we would actually have to survive for our lives. A lot of the stuff I do comes from my ex-husband who was in a war. Famine. We could be hit by a famine. All through history there has been famine. I'm sure there's people in this country suffering famine right now. Loss of job. That's gonna make you having to survive for your life. You're working so much, you're just trying to survive the week. How about that one? That's a good one. A lot of this stuff comes from the fact that I had to work 3 jobs all my life. I never took a day off. I worked from about the time I was 16 until I was 62. And then when I retired, the retirement itself was a survival. I think the walking 2 hours a day helped. Get sick. I have a prayer request. And Pamela asked me, can you pray for RV Lucky? He's very sick with cancer. And I said, oh, sure. I was praying for him last night. And I would like to ask all my lovable followers to pray for RV Lucky. Sometimes all you can do is pray. I have on the 8 rules, when things look very bleak, pray to God for help. Okay, so now, the first video is going to be a survival meal. Okay, last night, I made mint tea out of my mint leaves, and I just left my mint leaves in there. And when I'm done with them, I drink all this tea. What I will try to do is like fill this halfway and make tea again. See if I can get 6 cups of tea out of one little bunch of tea leaves. I dried those in the oven. But so you want to stockpile some tea. Maybe you can't dry tea because you don't have any place. Buy the tea for 100 bags for $1. I want to show you guys something. Okay, I'm very careful to secure all of my food. And so when I first started doing the tea parties, I was living in the other apartment, and I bought this. Never drank tea in my life. And then I have it in the little bag. So I'm very careful with my resources. That's going to help you survive, you guys. Start thinking about every day as survival, because it is, actually. So, okay, I poured some of my mint tea in here. I heated this in the microwave. Okay, so I want some, so what I'm doing is I'm getting used to drinking a cheap beverage in case I ever had to. God forbid. It could happen. You never know. And what I do is I stockpile sugar. This is 10 pounds. 10 pound sugar is going to last you quite a while. And what I do is I pour it out as I need it. I am going to do a video right out of this. After this, even in my creamers, I just started filling them halfway full. After this, I'm going to be doing a video, and it's going to be called The Dispensary. That's going to be a good video. Uh-oh. There is advantages to being old. Big advantages, like you've already suffered a lot. So, okay, for my survival meal, you have to have light. Even my light is crummy. So I have some tea and sugar. You don't have to have sugar, but you do need to kind of stockpile sugar. Okay, so for my survival meal, this is a Stovetop Biscuit that I made yesterday. And I just made a small batch and the rest are in the freezer. And you can take them out of the freezer and eat them one at a time, but if you keep them in a baggie, they're gonna you don't have to refrigerate them, you know, in the day. They didn't refrigerate, and then I keep margarine in the freezer. You're gonna need a little. Now in the day, when my grandfather would work, he would take bread that my grandmother made, bread and no butter. You don't need butter. Okay, and then in my stockpile, I stockpiled some grape jam. Okay, you need oil, wine, barley, and wheat. You know, we've become so civilized that sometimes, you know, our very survival could depend on going back to the ways of the olden days. Okay, so what is this? This is beef jerky that I made. If you can't make any, I just put it in an oven at 225, and I'll get a piece out. And I just dehydrated. Didn't take long. So, you know, a couple pieces of dry meat. Now remember, this stuff was a whole plate full of meat. So, you know, you can eat a little bit of jerky and you can get by. There was pioneer stories of my relative who survived, I mean literal starvation, because he ate some small pieces of meat. So you want to secure some meat. So your survival meal is a biscuit. Nice if you have jam, but you don't need it, or bread, and some dry meat. Okay, so you're likely to run out of wheat. So you want to store wheat, flour. And after a while, I just came to the conclusion, buy the good flour. Your survival might depend on it. You might need some bread or some biscuits. These biscuits are good. I posted all 3 of the disguise videos on my Twitter, and I posted TJ Prepper's video on biscuit making. She made some good looking biscuits. Check that out. Okay, so now you might run out of oil. I would stockpile Crisco. Big, I buy them at Walmart, the big tubs. Wheat, oil, wine are great if you're not a wine drinker, and barley for starters. Okay, so this is meal number 1, and I will be back, survival meal number 1, and I will be back with a survival video, the dispensary. Okay, God bless you all.